a new Sony State of Play is almost among us, meaning that it is almost time for everyone to be collectively disappointed that their favorite game was not there. And today's video is the pre-show for the Final Fantasy edition of that. Sony has announced this Thursday, July 8th at 2 p.m. Pacific, they will be doing yet another State of Play. Now you're probably thinking this is going to be the State of Play that is going to make up for Sony's absence at E3. We're gonna see some of that new Horizon, some of that new God of War, and maybe some of that Final Fantasy XVI. Well, it might be time to live by the Square Enix fandom mantra and temper thine expectations. So according to the press release, this is only going to be a 30-minute show, which is already suspiciously short as it is, but then you look at what's actually being talked about. They say there will be a focus on the game Deathloop, which is said to take up 9 of the 30 minutes. So literally 1/3 of the show is just going to be this one game. And if E3 is anything to go by, the rest of the show will just be like new maps for Among Us and like more Guardians of the Galaxy. Please, no more Guardians of the Galaxy. And so with literally only 20 minutes for pretty much everything else, this is quite clearly not going to be the equivalent of Sony's E3 2021. However, they do say that there is some exciting updates on indie and third-party titles here, which means more Among Us. Let's go. Could third-party titles mean Final Fantasy XVI? I'm going to set myself up for complete and utter disappointment by saying yes. Ultima community, I am ready and willing to look like a clown yet again. Speaking of clowns, Nintendo announced the Switch Pro model recently, and fans are pretty angry. Now, when the Switch Pro rumors first were coming out, we expected better resolution, better frame rates, increased graphical capabilities, an upgrade to the screen resolution, and numerous other things that the original Switch hardware was kind of lacking in. And what did we get? Well, I mean, it is an improved model, kinda. It does have an OLED screen as opposed to the old LCD screen, so it's going to look tremendously better in that regard. And while the screen is slightly larger, there's no increase in resolution. Furthermore, all the internal hardware is the same as the regular Switch. So unlike PlayStation 4 Pro or Xbox One X, you're not actually getting any increase in performance here. But I mean, there's some other improvements. But I mean, you literally can't do any worse than the original Switch's kickstand, so I don't know how much that counts for. There's a built-in LAN port to the dock, which isn't going to fix Ultimate's dookie netcode, but at least maybe y'all can stop lagging just like a little bit. It has 64 gigabytes of internal storage, which is still too little in 2021. Flash memory is not that expensive, Nintendo. Why are you like this? Then there's improved audio output, which is welcome, but that's it. That's Switch Pro. Or rather, Switch OLED is what they're officially calling it. I mean, there isn't even like an increase in battery life, at least not from the previous revision of Switch that came out a couple years ago. The package will retail for $350 on October 8th, but if you're like me and you were hoping to play Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition and it didn't look like someone smeared Vaseline all over the screen, you're completely out of luck. But with all of that said and done, Ultima, I want to know what you think. Do you think that the Night Sky Prince will clown himself again, hoping that Final Fantasy XVI will be at the State of Play? And will you be buying Switch OLED? Let me know in the comments below. Shout out to patron Alex Thomas and the rest of the Ultima community.